We good?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us again tonight. We're about ready to get started. We got a high-tech quality control situation going on with Darren. Logging in to make sure we're fully covered. A lot to talk about this week, Kevin. It seemed like a short week.
We do.
Daylight savings time. It was. You know what?
No,
It
that
was.
messed me up, man. I
It was
don't like
1
that,
hour
man.
less
I know.
since
You
our
always feel
normal
like-
break.
You always feel like you get sped up. You know when they have when it's the daylight savings, it's like when you wake
Yeah.
up, it's like you're just in a hurry to do something. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we got sound? All right, good.
All good. I don't like that.
All right. We good. We got our
Can't deal with
quality
that, man.
control in. Let me go ahead and mute out these. Might get Ricky to come join us at some point, but we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get started. It was a short break. We have 1 hour less time between
Right.
shows this past week. I'm feeling it.
Yeah,
A little bit of
bro.
podcast lag.
Really?
Let me just get things started.
Spring forward. You spring forward, you
Spring
fall
forward,
back.
Right.
That's how I always remember it. Old school.
Mm-hmm.
Spring forward.
It
But
works.
now
It
with your
works.
gadgets
Just
and
like,
your
just
phones,
like your knuckles when you try to figure out how many.
Kevin,
days
you
in
gonna
a
sit
month.
down? Hang out with
Exactly.
us?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
January, February.
Come on over here.
You know what I'm talking
Is
about?
it, how many days in this month? Hold on.
Right, Right. That's old school. Mark.
it
That's
is.
the best way to do it, man.
All right, let's get started
Yes.
here. Here we go.
I do it.
For sure.
That's the best way to do it.
Welcome back to the basement. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. It's Tuesday night. He's Darren McClinton.
Man, good to be here. Good to be here. It's a great time of the year for a basketball fan, especially a college basketball fan. High
Get that
school
ice
just
cube.
ended. You know, we had some barn burners in the high school season in this area.
Yep.
Very good games, very high level play, and now it's time for March Madness.
No, a solid respite for fans of teams that may or may not be going to the playoffs, which we will get to. He's Kevin McClinton.
Gentlemen, how are you? Doing all
Not too
right?
bad.
Yeah?
Not as good as Odell Beckham Jr. apparently.
Oh man, I'm glad he's out the division though.
Out the
I'm
division,
happy.
along with
Get it going. Not even that.
Landon
out
Collins,
the
but
division and the
you know,
conference.
he
Get
went out of the
here.
conference and on our roster.
Get out of here. Get out of here. No, it's good to be here. As
Juice,
Darren said.
You're freshly edged up like
He is.
Odell Beckham.
Yeah, I went and saw
man.
my man Tim Hawkins,
Did
man.
you?
He lined
Yeah,
me
you
up
look
real
like you
nice,
fresh out the
man. He
chair.
lined me up real nice, man. You know,
Huh.
so
You remember
like
when I used to cut your hair, man?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Smart move getting
That
out of
was a
my
long
chair,
time.
going to the.
Nah, I just don't have
going
nothing.
to
I
a
don't have
bar.
nothing. I don't have nothing to cut. I've had this bald hair since '95, man.
Really?
Yeah.
If you grew your hair back, would your hairline be?
I have no.
Where
I
would
don't
it be?
know. I don't know. I don't know what's up there, man. I know.
Well, that's
I
a
know. I
thing.
know. I'm not Stephen A.
All right, well, that's a thing. We're going to have to
But
figure that out.
Or Stevie
Get to
Wonder.
the bottom of it.
or James Brown.
Yeah. I mean,
So I think I'm all right with that aspect. I just don't know if there's any gray up there, man. There could be some gray up there. So
I don't know.
I'm
Take
not.
it easy. Take it easy.
Joining
Knock it
us,
off Juice's hairline.
been
How
in the
about
basement since early tonight. First show, the Nat Shift. Second show, the WCAC Spectacular. We did a little The Audible presents Off Season on the Brink. Kevin Ricka.
And you know I love being a part of this show. Appreciate you guys. Just to be fair,
Right.
you said James Brown. I was thinking maybe there might be a little Richard up there.
There could be. There could be a little Richard up there. You're right.
could be.
You're right, man. You're right. You're right.
That would be amazing. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you let's say you were guaranteed Little Richard, you could grow that out and it would be that amazing. Would you do it? Like you knew you could get it. Like you it was guaranteed. All you had to do was just say, "Go," and you got it.
I don't think so. I can't do it, man.
Is that?
What people don't,
I agree
what
with you.
people don't know,
Yeah.
Juice has a widow's peak.
Yes.
You know what the widow's peak is
I
right
had
there
a
in the front?
and you know how frustrated I was and pissed about that. I had a widow's peak since all in high school, and I used
Yeah.
to shave it. I used to cut it, like
And it
when I
would
used-
grow back.
and it would grow back.
Quick.
But it looked so bad because I used to cut it, and I used to it would just be right here, and then when I shave it, it'd go up. It looked terrible.
Like
It
a little
looked real-
like a little Dracula triangle.
Right,
in
it looked
the-
bad, man.
Well, because you were trying to Jay Gruden it.
I was.
Do
You
you
didn't
think
just let it-
if
let
you
it
grew
do what
your
it
hair
did.
back, it's been how many years?
Was this 24 years?
24 years. Do you think if you grew your hair back, you think your widow's peak would grow back?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, do you see it?
No.
You don't see it?
No. So
Okay, well.
if your hairline was back here, but your widow's peak was still in the front, do you know how that would look? Oh my goodness! All right, come on, kid. Let's get to it.
Oh my God.
Let's kick the show off with a little something we call "Knock It Off."
Man. Oh my God.
Terrible.
Man.
I feel inclined to look at you to lead us off to get a little something off your chest.
Didn't he just?
Yeah, I did.
He
I
kinda
See how he
did.
killed me? See how he came at me, Kev?
Juice, I'm gonna pass it over to you. Give me your knock it off, Juice. What you got today?
I'm gonna go with Charlie Casserly, man.
On the
On the Kyler Murray situation.
Kyler
The
Murray story, so you don't think
yeah.
you think either it's true and he just should have said nothing?
I mean, first of all, I respect Charlie Casserly.
Yeah,
I
he
mean, he
wouldn't
was
lie.
here. We obviously know he was here, and he won the championship here, a couple championships here with the Redskins. But now he's an analyst, and he does a good job. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to him when he talks. I listen to him, but I just thought he was really critical of Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? Just some of the things he said. I don't know if it was more. I don't know what that was, but it's almost like he attacked his intelligence. And I'm not going to go saying that it was racially motivated or anything like that. I'm
Did
not
he
going
say
to
it
get
was
that
the
deep with
worst
it.
interview?
He said it was
that
a
he's
bad
ever-
interview. He said his study habits are bad.
Oh.
I mean, he said a lot of things about him right before the draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I'm a GM and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Kyler Murray, then I'm a little turned back by that. I'm like, well, is this kid really worth a number one pick, or is he worth a first round grade, or whatever the case may be? I just think the timing was bad. Now, if you want to talk about the man after the draft or whatever, then that's fine. But I just think the timing was bad when you have a young man that obviously excelled, had a great year.
And those words
and
could mean
Heisman
dollar
Trophy.
signs.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that, you could have cost this kid millions of dollars just by saying something, and you never had a conversation with him.
Can I ask you
That
this?
was my issue with Charlie Casserly.
Let me ask you this.
That was my problem with
Let me
him.
ask you
Yes,
this,
go ahead.
Juice. You think there might be a GM out there in the league that might want Kyler Murray on his team, and he might say, you know what? Maybe I tell Charlie Casserly our interview didn't go so hot. And maybe Charlie Casserly passes that along, and maybe Kyler Murray is available a little bit longer. I just think the things that people say, the things that come out of people's mouth, or in the NFL around this time of year.
There was a makeup call also, by the way.
Sure.
Right, there was.
Yesterday,
But that
Charlie
was saved
Casserly's
face.
analysis
Yes.
of Beasley. He said that Dak threw too much to Des
Right.
Bryant last year.
Right.
That seems like a makeup call. to
That's a
me.
makeup call. Right. That is. That is. And it's the thing about it is, I'm not, again, I don't know who Charlie Casserly's talked about or who he's talked to or whatever, but it just seems to me when you make that kind of statement or you talk about somebody, then reveal who you're talking about. Reveal who told you this. Don't hide behind, well, this is what I was told, because if you're going to go in, go all the way in.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And express who said this to you, so then that way we can kind of figure out whether or not it, bring credence to it. But you're saying, well, this is what I was told, this, that, and the other. And, you can hide behind that. You can say it when that might just be your own opinion, but don't do this to that kid, man. That kid is just, to be drafted in the first round in baseball and football, you know what I mean?
Top 10 in
Top
both?
10
Yeah.
in both. You know what I mean? And then, you make a decision to go play football or what have you. A lot of people kind of doubting whether or not he should have done that. But then, and for you to say that he, well, I don't know if he's, he's going to study habits, this, that, and the other. Come on, man. If he's too short, fine. If his hands are too small, fine. You know what I mean? If he's not a good pocket passer, fine. If he needs, fine. But don't attack his character. Don't attack his intelligence before he's had the opportunity to throw a ball in the game, man.
I agree. But I'm asking, isn't the quarterback position the most heavily critiqued position as far as
In sports.
right? So
in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so possibly being the number one pick and being a quarterback at that. I'm not gonna pull the race card. I'm just saying that position.
Yep.
Isn't it critiqued more than any other position
Oh, yeah.
as far as possible draft pick or being the
They pick them apart. Every single person.
Well,
Right.
it's the one you're going to invest the most money in.
Yep.
It's the one that you
Exactly.
invest the most money in. So
So
that is
it
going to
come-
be the
So it comes with the territory of them really, really critiquing your interview, really, really critiquing your off the field behavior,
Right.
really critiquing things like your study habits, this, that, and the
Sure.
other.
All this
So-
is coming, though. I hate to interrupt, but we didn't hear one positive thing about any of the other top-ranked quarterbacks or negative.
Right.
We didn't hear anything about anyone's whiteboard interview
Right.
Right.
and their X and O game.
Right.
All we heard was negative about Kyler Murray. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, the rest of this stuff happens in the next 2 months.
Right.
Guys. When they get you in, yes, the Senior Bowl and the Combine, fine.
Right.
When they get you in there,
Right.
that's when they get you.
That's when they get you.
Yeah, and we didn't hear good or bad or anything about another quarterback
Right.
on the board, right?
Right. That's
so,
it.
Yeah,
You know?
that's yeah,
That's why I think someone's
weird.
I think someone fed him a story
it's weird.
on purpose, and I think it could turn out to be Dave Gettleman, the embattled New York Giants
Now,
guy.
and again, I mean, if you want to talk, like, it could be somebody that's a
I'm pointing the finger at you,
that could be
Gettleman.
somebody that could be an 8-year vet,
Sure.
and you want to talk about him that way, that's fine. But this kid is just getting out of college.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity to be number one pick or whatever it is, make some money, establish himself, and you throw that kind of shade on him like that. I just that rubbed me the wrong way with him.
Sure.
That's my knock it off. That was a problem for me.
You got one?
No, I like that one. But
wanna
I
stay
want
on that one?
I
Okay.
want to put this up. What does the what's the Jamie
Winston.
James Winston
Yeah.
or the other trouble quarterback
The only one other, Ryan Leaf, all the way back in the day.
but those things happening in years prior, does that have anything to do with the critique of bringing in a quarterback possibly at number one that may have some off the field
Well,
issues?
when you're the number one pick or you're potentially the number one pick, baggage, they're going to find baggage. They're going to try
What's
to
my
find
guy's
something.
name with all the baggage?
Recently?
Yes.
Well, Baker had a little
Mayfield?
bit.
Yeah.
You're going to find something. You're going
Security
to
guard
find
tackled him
something.
in the open field.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it.
He's gonna.
You're going to try to find
Beat just
something.
fine.
You know what I mean? Because this is the guy. This is your franchise.
What I'm saying is that making people reach for things or go searching for
you're going to dig a little. You're going to dig
yeah.
deep
exactly
because you know that you're investing not only money, but you're investing your franchise into this guy.
Right.
You can't go wrong with the number one pick in the draft
Right.
in the NFL. You can't go wrong. You know what I mean? So you're going to dig deep, and you're going to dig when you might not need to dig, but you're going to dig. You're going to find something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
And I'm
you're
not
gonna be
saying
like,
he's
all
right. I'm not justifying
Right.
what he did. I'm just saying is what has happened in the years prior. Does that have a
I think so.
If
If
I mean,
Instagram,
Kevin,
Instagram model Cliff Kingsbury is making this choice and has already messed it up for the franchise and cost them value in the pick anyways, yes, they know what they want right now. They've decided it. They know it. That's what they want. That's what they're moving towards. They've got 2 months to figure out why not.
right.
Right.
And they will.
And like you said,
they'll
that's
invest the
everything.
resources to
Yes.
find it out.
And former FBI, former Secret Service,
yeah.
these guys are employed by everyone.
The NFL
But see,
security
the
is
funny
legit.
thing about what Casserly said, he prefaced it by saying it's a good thing that Kingsbury's going to take him, because otherwise he doesn't think he should be the number one pick.
Because Kingsbury has
first-
the college
right,
system
exactly,
that people are going to
exactly.
find him to find out how to do it and
Right.
running it in the NFL now. Yes.
Absolutely, that's what he prefaced it by saying that. Well, it's a good thing he's going to take him because this is what I heard about the guy. Otherwise, if you're not going to play for him, then you might have trouble playing for somebody else because this is your study habits aren't good and all this other stuff. So that was a problem for me, man. But hey,
A
I
slight
wish
bit
him
of,
well.
A
I
slight
think
bit of
he's good.
positive negativity.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's weird coming from Cashley. I didn't like it. It was strange. You didn't hear this about anybody else.
Right.
That stuff is coming. So.
Knock it off.
How about a knock it off to Aunt Becky from Full House?
Unbelievable.
I mean, for God's sake. So first, where she's the face of this, by the way, for better or worse. And the only people, you woke up to this story and it was Aunt Becky's face on the cover of everything. Poor her, I guess, because she is not even the worst offender in this whole group. But the story of her particular story is so striking to me for Knock It Off because her daughter, Olivia Jade, who's a social media star, she has a channel, not like First Amendment Sports, which you should be subscribing to. She's got her own thing, and she just fine. And she's like on a channel talking about how she just doesn't care about school. She wants to go to the
I
game
hate
day parties.
Yes.
Wants
saw it.
to.
That was crazy.
And yet her
Go
mom
to the games.
paid 500
Party.
grand. By the way, 500 grand to get into USC. We're not even talking. I mean, we're talking about USC.
Right.
Dude, anyone gets in USC.
That's $50 coming from one of our pockets to someone to do that.
USC. Okay, so at least people were paying up for the kid to go to Yale, or Georgetown.
Right.
I mean, it's still backwards and twisted.
Someone paid $6.5 million.
Yes. Okay, and I get it to a certain degree, but you paid 500 grand for your kid to go to USC. That's tough. And like the whole operation, which we're finding out more about already, is unbelievable. And it's like the list of these people, it's worth $1 trillion. It's unbelievable. I mean, first Robert Kraft on these guys, but anyways, Aunt Becky, you need to knock it off.
Knock it off.
Like, you couldn't think of a better way to spend $500,000 for your daughter, who already is like a successful, apparently, social media person,
Right.
and you're just going to pay $500,000 so she can get into a school she doesn't want to go to for the game day parties?
How
You
boring
need
is
to knock it off.
How boring is happy hour around Aunt Becky's way? I mean, what else? She's got to have something else to do, but no, she doesn't.
No.
Some of the
Talk
things
about
that
a
I've
scandal.
Oh my goodness! Some of the things I've been
gracious.
reading that some of these parents have, very wealthy parents have,
Yes.
the lengths they've gone to get their kid in or raise their kid's ACT score.
Yeah, pay someone smart to take them. Like, that's
Yes.
unbelievable. That's the thing you heard of. Wait a second. You're talking about in the 2000s, the 2010s, the era of no one gets away with anything. People are showing up to SATs. I mean, you got to show your ID everywhere now. How is some random person taking your SAT for you? That's insane. And getting
Somebody
paid
take it
a
from me.
ton. Getting paid a
Jeez.
ton.
Hey, money talks, man. Money
It
talks.
really
The
does.
more
That
money
is some
you have,
serious talking, though.
money talks. Yeah.
A women's soccer coach at Yale,
at Yale.
got $400,000 in a check
Yes.
for just listing someone as a recruited athlete.
Everybody has a price.
Do you
That's
know?
a high
listen
price.
though,
Crazy.
A lot of people have lower
there's
prices.
One
Hey,
situation,
Hey, what you guys holding right now? Tell me
Guys,
about it.
there's one situation where a family photoshopped pictures
Oh, yes.
of their daughters doing crew,
Yeah.
so that they could be.
Credible.
They've never
No.
done crew before.
They didn't even
Yeah,
like do
they
the
do.
workout.
Like,
They
get
were
them in
being
there.
recruited
Yeah.
to an Ivy League school as a crew.
Was it? It might have been
Yeah,
Stanford.
but when she gets there, she's gonna be terrible.
No.
no.
They never
They
stepped
were,
on the
Yeah,
field.
as
there's
soon
no
as you
crew.
get in, as soon as you get in, they're gonna quit the team. They're gonna.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, it was all planned out.
So
The
you
tennis
already
coach
in.
got 100 G's, and it said
Oh.
John Smith
Oh, that's
never
terrible,
played
man. That's
competitive
terrible.
tennis.
Below average
Exactly.
white kids. It's not a good time to be a below average white kid in this day and age. You're not getting. You are not getting in anymore.
Open tryout.
Sorry,
man.
can't be below average and white anymore.
Wow.
It's
Aunt Becky, you
unbelievable.
gotta knock it off,
But
Aunt
Aunt Becky needs to seriously
Becky
knock
gotta
it
knock it
off.
off.
Well, she's not below average.
No, she's not. Nor, I mean, to be honest, nor is her daughter. She's 19, so it's all good. Let's
Jesus.
move along.
Fastly.
Let's keep it moving along fastly. And we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, guys. The Washington Wizards, in the midst of a 5-game homestand, are nursing some playoff chances, nursing some playoff hopes. They play some really poopy teams. Charlotte, who they just beat. They just beat somebody terrible.
The Generals, I believe.
They beat the Generals. They just destroy the Generals. Either way, they're 3.5 games out of the playoffs. Two of the teams that stand between them and the 8th seed, they're playing in this 5-game homestand. None of the teams are in the playoffs at this moment. Could be a chance, Juice. Could be a chance for the Wizards to just climb right back in.
Ken.
You are just gonna hang on, aren't you?
Hanging
I-
on.
just
They're
gonna hang
3.5
on, bro.
games.
I'm
They're
hanging
3.5 games out of 8th place.
Yeah.
Um,
in the East.
This is supposed to be the time, this stretch of the season, where they're playing teams to solidify their spot, not to hopefully get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be playing teams the way we looked at it at the beginning of the season, to maybe jump from a 5 to a 4 or 4 to a 3.
Yeah.
But they're playing these teams to try to get into that last possible spot.
But see, y'all
It's-
sound desperate, man.
it's-
Y'all do.
I'm desperate.
Like
It's reality, though. It's reality.
We had these conversations when the
Where's
season was
Dwight
20
Howard in his
games.
hind parts? Where is
Yes.
he? Where is he?
And you know what?
It's magic.
You were asking the right person.
No, he had a
'cause-
setback, man. I think he had
Yeah,
a
he
setback.
had a setback.
He had a setback, man.
A setback?
Can you describe the setback?
I have not seen him.
Sit back or
Like
setback?
at the beginning of the
he
season,
said for
he
sure.
was coming up to the St. James faithfully.
Yeah.
I have not seen him. He hasn't been up there, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what I
There was
mean?
there was a booty injury,
Yeah,
but since
It's
then,
hand patch.
it's been a disappearing act.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of
Like
strange.
he's nowhere even to be found.
No one's told us anything.
Yeah.
So he
Can
just
you-
took our bread and just left. He just took our bread.
When
That's
Saturansky
what he did. He just came and just took the bread
He
and
took
just that's it.
5.
when Saturansky goes for 29-8 in the first round, upset 8-1 series against the Milwaukee Bucks, you guys are going to.
No, you wait, but you're
And this-
saying them over the Bucks? That's your team, isn't it? Isn't that
is
the
my
one
team.
you
Here's my
picked?
thing, though.
Yeah, they're winning it all.
Wow.
Guys,
okay.
I do want to talk about that in the East. And I'm not one for tanking. I'm not one for throwing games.
Because you can't.
But
What does he get you?
if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, here's something to think about. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks,
Get out of the top
I'm
seed.
looking at the seeding right now. Toronto is the second seed, and they have an easier trip to the finals than Milwaukee does as the top seed. Now, that second round is against if the playoffs were to start now,
Yeah.
that second round is against the winner of Philly and Boston,
Yeah.
where Toronto's second round is the winner of
They're playing.
Indiana and
They're getting
I
all
think the
15
Pistons.
seeds, like,
I
you
think
know,
it's Indiana
conference
and Detroit.
champions from non-power conferences. That's who they're
You know what I
getting.
mean?
I need to. So what are you saying?
if Milwaukee, with their lack of playoff experience, I know they just picked up Paul Gasol. I think Milwaukee would
As a
be
coach?
better off. Better in presence.
Usher.
Better in presence. He's a champion. I think Milwaukee Bucks would
Absolutely
be
not. Why
better
would you
off going into the playoffs as the second seed.
Why would you give up
than they
home
would-
court advantage?
I understand that, but to
It doesn't matter
avoid
who you play. You're gonna have to play them anyway.
to avoid playing
Nah, hell
this
no.
juggernaut Celtics team.
Basketball Jesus is what you're talking
Absolutely
about.
not. They have the
You
best player.
can't play
They have
basketball,
the best
Jesus.
player in the world.
I understand.
They have
that.
the best player in the
I
world right
understand
now on their
that.
team.
I think Milwaukee can do it regardless. I'm just saying the easier road is looking like in the East is coming from the second seed.
Because you're gonna have to play them teams. You're gonna have to play one of those teams anyway to get to the finals. So you might as well play them at home.
The easier road to the Eastern Conference Finals is the second seed right
No,
now,
it's
the way
not.
it's
No.
constructed.
Now, why would you give up home court, Darren? Why would you give up home
I
court
like my
advantage?
chances against the winner of Indiana, Detroit, over the winner of Boston, Philly.
Hey, Juice.
Either way,
Juice. What on a point you just
Probably
made?
not a popular opinion, but that's
not
that's
not
just
to
what I'm
break it
looking
off
at.
all the way, but which of the professional sports leagues does home field matter most in the playoffs of the top 4 leagues?
probably football.
I think it's right there with basketball.
I think football and basketball. Yeah, I would
I
say
think
more so
baseball.
than hockey.
Baseball's
Meaningless in baseball, I think.
hockey.
Maybe
football, man.
maybe there's a couple
Football and
places, New York and
basketball.
Boston. I'd like to say Washington was one
I
of
mean,
them.
shooting on your home rim that you put up 8,000 shots on throughout the course of whenever,
Right.
and you've been there.
That's
5 years.
to me why basketball is the most important home field advantage because it's the same iron.
The reason why I
it's
say-
the exact same iron.
The reason why I say football is because I think it has a lot to do with the elements.
I
The
think it's
conditions,
football
yes.
too.
Like if you're used to
If
like,
you're Green Bay-
if you're Green Bay, you play in those elements. It's not a big deal. to you.
No basketball
If
team
you're
has Green Bay's
Denver-
advantage.
if
Correct.
you're
Exactly.
Denver-
Right. Exactly.
I agree with that.
If you're Denver and you're playing a home game,
Oh, mile high.
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm lightheaded.
Right.
But
So that's
All right.
kind of what I think.
but if you're the Falcons or you're you know your team that plays indoors
In a dome.
you
Greater
know,
show
in a-
on turf.
Right.
It's a home field advantage.
Right.
playing on that track.
Right.
Playing against another indoor team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And I think in basketball, if you have a great player, a great individual player, then you can dominate a game, whether or not you're at home or away.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
1 out of 5.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you can do that. I mean, I think LeBron showed that a couple years ago when they beat Golden State for the finals. So I think from that standpoint, I think football probably, but basketball is probably a close
You
second.
remember the
I love that
deafening
question,
noise
by the
of
way.
the
I'm going to think
Seattle.
about that for.
Yeah. You remember the Seattle Seahawks fans?
Oh, shit. Of course
It
we
was
do.
incredible trying to go there and play. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I think football.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say
question, though.
basketball is because I feel like if a guy gets comfortable shooting at a rim, and that's his rim, like that's his rim. Like, you know, it's an intimate relationship between shooter and his rim.
What if there's a couple and a camouflage hat tell you to get on your knees directly behind the bench for 82 games?
Yeah, I mean that guy needs
He
to knock
can't
it
go
off.
back. He's done.
He's done.
banned in
He's
Utah.
banned.
He's banned.
But he might have the money to follow Russ Westbrook around for an 82-game season.
God, I hope
Like
he
that's what
does.
scares me about all this,
Unbelievable.
which is what scares the players about all this.
Yeah.
Right.
But he might just say, "Oh, really? I'm banned?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
See what I do next."
Right.
I mean, who knows? That stuff scares me, man.
Yeah, and people are crazy enough to do.
Enough for him and his wife to
these
say that
fans,
to him.
Yeah.
These fans can pay top dollar and get these seats where they're accessible within you know, they can these players can hear them. You know, you can't reach out and touch them,
Right.
but they can hear them. And these players are human.
And no
like
offense to
everybody
him.
That little
else.
kid touched Russ last week. He had to
You're
turn around
right.
and say, "Young man."
You're right.
And he took a deep breath, and the dad was like, "Oh." I was like,
You're
I would have
right,
been like,
you're
"Get
right.
over here." I know you guys would have done the same thing.
Right.
What are you doing? Sit down. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Right.
no. The dad was like, and you know,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
think of a kid that watches these players on TV every chance they get, and if they can't see them on TV, they see them on their gadgets, and then now you're close enough to actually touch. They're superhuman to these kids. You know what I mean? And you can reach out and touch them.
Yeah. You're right.
You know?
You're right.
What about speaking of superhuman, kind of what we hope will be a superhuman effort in the Big Ten tournament from the Maryland Terrapins. They go
Yeah,
Thursday.
Yeah, they,
I was hoping Maryland was going to get a double bye, guys. Wisconsin beat Ohio State in overtime.
Ohio State sucks right now.
If Wisconsin would have lost that game, I think Maryland would have been the 4th seed. I think so.
Right.
A double bye is important, but you know they're going to have to play the winner of Nebraska Rutgers, who start off tomorrow.
Yep.
And then Maryland has to play the winner of that game in the quarterfinals. It's a tougher road, but I don't think it's too tough for Maryland to play well and show well in the Big Ten tournament, which they need to do, and they can still possibly get a favorable seeding in the Big Dance.
I think right now in the Big Dance, they're probably on the 5 line.
Yep.
round 5.
Probably 5, depending on how well they do. They could possibly get to a 4.
I think that's
I'd
a
like
tough
to see.
5.
That's a tough 5.
Now, they're
I,
on-
I would like to. I mean, I would like for them to get out of that 5 spot.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
that
you don't want to pay the
5-12
12.
game is just. It's
Well, I mean for
brutal,
the
man.
12 though. By the way,
They are on that
I
side.
think that's a tough 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like I said last week, you're gonna play a team that is probably. It could either be a major or it could be a mid-major, or a champion.
It's going to
That's
be.
good, man. Now you're gonna play a number 12 seed that could have a lot of seniors.
You're going to play that large
You're
team,
gonna
right?
play it. Yeah, you're gonna. No, I don't think so. You might either play an at-large team or you might play a champion of a mid-major.
I mean, at 12, I think you're in the at-large area.
The 12-5 game is the most dangerous
It's
game for the higher
dangerous.
seed.
Because somebody, I know, because
And we're
somebody.
going to get into that later with our bracketology. But
Yeah.
if you don't pick a 12 to beat a 5
You have to
in,
pick a
in
12
one
to
of
be
the
five.
at least
Every
one of
year,
the
man.
4 regions,
It happens every year.
Because you're picking a team
there's
that's
no way
been
you're going to get your
chosen
what is it, $1 million
to make it based
For
on
a
what they're
perfect
capable of.
bracket.
They didn't win their
Absolutely.
they didn't win their tournament,
Right.
And they're likely not a high-ranked team. They're
It could
getting
be.
in.
It could be it could be an at-large from a major.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? It could be an at-large from a major.
Clemson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an
somewhere around
at-large
there.
from a major.
It could be.
But I also think the Big Ten tournament. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this because they're a young team, obviously, and I worry more about them coming into a tournament and being flat in the beginning, because I actually think that if they get comfortable, they only get better. And so, not that I want to sleep on Nebraska or Rutgers, but I'd rather them get that game in because I think they need it. I don't think they're not a seasoned tournament team. This is going to be new to them in many ways, and I'd love for them to get that experience in a game and then come back the next day or the next round with a chance to build on it.
James Palmer, Anthony Cowan. We could talk about that on every
Hell
level of
yes.
the shows going on this night. Man.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that would be
I know
just
Big
a
Brother
fun
wouldn't
night.
mind doing that.
Yeah.
You're always little brother, but you're big brother for that matchup, aren't you?
For sure. Those are my guys, and they're also former St. John's cadets,
Yep.
and it's always big when they play each other for this area and for those two. It's a quiet, competitive environment, and if they get a chance to do it again, it'll be the last time they play each other in their college careers because Palmer's a senior, but. I think even though Ike Copeland going down has hurt Nebraska, I think they'll win that first game, and I think it'll be Maryland against Nebraska
Yep.
in the quarterfinals. Maryland is now on that side to play Michigan State if they win in the semis if they win that quarterfinal game, and anything can happen in the United Center, man. I think, you can get Maryland with a good attitude, good feeling, good continuity, playing their best basketball, and they can surprise some folks.
Everyone here been to Chicago?
Never.
Never been to Chicago? Favorite restaurant to eat in Chicago?
No, don't have a favorite restaurant.
No?
No.
The pizza places are legendary. Okay, never mind.
I mean, the deep dish I've had from
Yeah.
Uno's locally.
I ate at the original. Well, that's number 2. They call it Douai because it's the number 2 one.
It's
Let
delicious.
me ask you guys this.
Giordano's, by the way, is the right
Do-
answer. Giordano's.
Yeah.
Georgetown with a very good win over Marquette after it's an embarrassing performance against DePaul. They got smashed by DePaul, but to come back and beat Marquette was 16th at the
Marquette.
time. Yeah, to beat a very good Marquette squad with the backcourt of McClung and Akinjo playing very well. They've been hot and cold, and Patrick Ewing's been open about that all season long. We're gonna live and die with our young backcourt, but they need to gain that experience. Their rope is gonna be a little bit longer than usually you'd see freshmen, but
What's the next couple weeks have in store for them?
that was a big win for them.
What's it going to mean?
They're gonna have to. They're
I
gonna
think
have
they gotta
to
get
play
to the
well.
finals.
Yeah, they're gonna have. Maybe not the finals.
I think they
Juice.
got to get to the finals. And the only reason why I say that
Just
is
to have a
because
chance or to lock it up?
maybe the semis, but I think the finals
Will
locks it
solidify
up. No, but my problem here's the only thing about that Marquette win that might be a concern. Marquette was on a 4-game losing streak. You know what I mean? And so that might devalue that win a little bit. I mean, if Marquette had been on 4 or 5-game winning streak and Georgetown beat them, then that sticks out a little bit more than Marquette already losing games. And then
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you beat them. So the committee's probably like, I don't really know how much I put into that win because Marquette was struggling anyway. Now, with that being said, they did win. They did win on the road. So that is a big win for them. I think they have some more work to do. But I think the Big East, they beat Villanova and Marquette. So I think if they can get to the semis, they'll have a chance. But the finals, I think they'll be good to go. And they might be a number 12 seed.
I think
and they
Georgetown
could be.
is
You
in.
could see a
That's-
Maryland Georgetown.
That's the kind of team
You
Maryland
could see a
needs.
Maryland Georgetown first round game, man. You could very easily see that. So
Guys,
I'm
one
just
of
saying.
the things about the tournament that how you see upsets every single year. One of the reasons, in my opinion, is because some of these big these Power 5 conferences, they don't get a chance to prepare for these mid-major teams and the way that they play and the style of players that they have. A team like Virginia, let's take Virginia against UMBC last year. Virginia is playing against all year long. They're playing against 6'7", wiry, athletic guys, and they don't see a 5 except for Chris likes now
Sure.
in Miami. But in the ACC, they don't see a 5'6" super quick dynamic playmaker like UMBC had. They don't see a guy that can break the offense and break down their defender and get a bucket when they need to. They don't see they go against systems, very high level systems and superior athletes. So they don't even have on their second team or their scout team the guys that can mimic what they're going against. So when you get into the tournament, you know who you're playing, and then you have the first round. You have 4 days to prepare, but after that, you only get a day and a half, and one of those days is shoot around. So you only get preparation, really. One
Your
practice.
assistants better have it.
Exactly. So that's how I can see some of these teams that are on paper better getting knocked off. You know, and it happens every single year.
I think two reasons why. I think a lot of these mid majors play unconventional ways, where they play a lot of zone. I think some of them press a lot. They'll run a lot of zone presses and things like that, where a lot of the majors don't see that. I mean, if you watch the ACC or Big Ten or, some of the power conferences, they don't do any zone presses or play a lot of zone outside of Syracuse. They don't do that. So therefore, when you go up against those type of defenses and those type of schemes and those type of programs, then it takes you a while. You, like Darren said, you have to prepare for that.
Yes.
But then when you have to prepare for that, that takes away from what you have to do in practice. So you're working against what you don't see, and it's taken away from time that you can use towards getting yourself ready. Another reason why is because a lot of these mid-majors have seniors. And I think that's a big deal. A lot of these majors, they have guys that are 1-2 years in, and they're gone. You know what I mean? You have these guys, you have teams that have 4 starters that have seniors and everything. And people don't understand. People don't understand how important it is to have seniors. You know what I mean? And when you have guys that know that this is their last go around, this is their last hurrah, they are going to fight and they are going to play because they appreciate college life and they appreciate playing for their school, as opposed, and I'm not saying the majors don't do this, but they already know. A lot of them going, I'm going to the league.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
What's
so I think
next?
that's a lot. Exactly. So I think that's why you see a lot of upsets, to be honest with you.
And to your point, Kevin, like if you're Duke, right, and you're going to play Wake Forest, you're preparing for what Wake Forest does. They're not going to throw anything gimmicky at you. They're going to do what Wake Forest does. If you're going to play Virginia, Virginia's going to do what Virginia does. These mid majors and low major colleges,
come outside the
they're going to
box.
come outside the box
Yep.
because they're preparing to be giant killers.
Right.
So we're going to say, how am I going to be a giant killer
Right.
in this one shining moment?
Right.
This is our chance
Right.
to beat a powerhouse school. So
Absolutely.
I'm not, what you've scouted, we're going to go outside of that box, and we're not just going to bring you Iona. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're going to bring you a different.
So let me ask you guys. I'll go around and don't think too hard. Just answer quickly. Is the champion of this year's NCAA tournament going to be based on the strength of its backcourt or front court
Back
in that championship game?
backcourt.
Backcourt in 215, Tyus Jones took care of business. Baby brother's ready to take care of it again.
I have an asterisk behind mine.
I could, and we'll go
I
ahead.
have an asterisk. I'll get to my asterisk in a second. Go ahead.
The team I think is going to, I'm going to say front court, because the team I'm thinking is going to win it.
Gonzaga?
No,
Duke,
no,
because the team you think is going to win, Tennessee.
no.
Carolina.
Carolina.
Now, my asterisk is backcourt, but if Zion Williamson is full strength,
I know that's
Front court.
kind of the part inherent in the question, because everyone knows that the NCAA tournament is two great guards will get you as far as you can go in the NCAA tournament. But in this era of uber athletic one and two and dunners, there's a couple teams with guys who can lead the way from the front court.
I just don't know if Zion is going to be ready, man. Like I think
Should he?
he will be, but I just don't know how effective he's going to be. He sat out a long time. And
Ricka,
I think Carolina
Duke is your mob. How many games has Duke lost this year?
5.
5. How many games has Zion lost? 2?
3.
3?
No.
Two.
He was out for 3.
That
Right,
Carolina,
so he's
that
lost
Carolina
2.
game doesn't count.
They're 3-3 without him.
Right.
Okay. Now,
He's different, man.
he
You
just
know that
picked
more
up,
than anyone. You all know
He just
that.
picked up
You
ACC
can't-
Player of the Year
And Rookie of the Year.
and Rookie of the Year. People asked me today, how did RJ Barrett not get, okay, you give Zion Player of the Year, how does RJ Barrett not get Rookie of the Year, or get one of those? And Zion Williamson is such a difference maker.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the impact that he has on winning. So a healthy Zion Williamson, you automatically Duke is in the picture for a national championship.
Absolutely.
He's the
Automatically.
soul, and people don't get that. But on defense, on offense, he's the
Oh, my
uplifting.
goodness.
He's the leader. He's the force. What Carolina did to Duke this past weekend, they earned great credit. When he came out after 30 seconds, that was
Yeah.
totally different. It was over.
I want to give
At home,
credit,
it was
guys.
over.
I want to give credit to Tony Bennett and the Virginia Cavaliers. They, like you said, Juice, they have a chance to win a national championship after losing in the first round to the 16th seed. And what a lot of people say it's the biggest upset in the history.
It is.
So Tony Bennett, after the game, owned up to the
Yeah, I remember that.
to the loss. He did not give excuses. The defensive player of the year this year, which is DeAndre Hunter, and a first team All ACC guaranteed and a lottery pick, wasn't playing on last year's mob, but he didn't make any excuses. He did not point any fingers. He said, the better team won, and that feeds into that locker room. You know what I mean? They all took responsibility. They didn't come to play, or UMBC had it that day, and they came back this year with on a mission. I mean, and to get back to that same position, and it's not going to happen again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So as a coaching staff and as a team in that locker room,
They'll be fine as long as they don't have to go up against
As long as they
Zion.
don't have to go up against Duke.
Because twice
As long as they don't have to go up
well,
against
they're not
Duke.
going to face
in
him
those
until
games, it was Zion,
But we'll
Right.
see. We'll see what the
the anti-pack
brackets
line
are.
defense human being.
We'll see what the brackets are because they might have to go against Duke again.
Whoever the lowest 1 seed is, gets screwed.
It's going to be very, very exciting, man. This is, North Carolina is really, really trending right now. I didn't think they were this good
No.
midway through the season, and
They seem to be.
they really
Let
do
me ask
seem
y'all
to
a
be.
quick question.
But they beat a Zion-less Duke, though.
Let me ask y'all
Luke
a
May's
question.
not getting off twice without Zion Williams defending.
No,
him.
let me
Forget
ask.
about the
Let me
rest.
let me ask y'all a question.
They earned it.
I still think Duke's the number 1 seed,
I do too.
and
course it
because
should
people
be.
are saying they're not, I
don't
think
know
they're a
if they
number
are.
1 seed because now that Gonzaga's lost,
Yeah.
I think
They
that
lost tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
St.
lost.
Mary's.
They lost to St. Mary's.
So
Good for Duke.
good for Duke because now
I'm
and
just
you
shocked
remember
by
when
that.
You guys
Start
won that
filling
third
in your
loss.
Hey,
bracket.
you
Start
remember
filling
when
in
you
your
remember
bracket.
you remember when Cincinnati
First conference
remember
loss.
when Kenyon Martin got
Yes,
hurt and you
yes.
remember how they went to a number 2 seed?
Yes.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have even been a number 2 seed without him.
Right, but what I'm saying is if I'm the committee and I'm looking at Duke, the wins that they've had, they've lost 3 games without Zion Williamson, who could be the national player of the year.
He is in one publication today.
And one
And
right.
he's playing in this ACC tournament.
right.
playing.
So
He's playing.
how do you punish Duke? when they lose
They're
the
number
best-
1 seed as far as I'm
That's what I'm
concerned.
saying. I think they're a number 1 seed.
He said
now they
wait-
might be
he
the
said wait
fourth
and
number 1
see.
He's
seed.
back.
They might be the fourth
So
number
all,
one
all
seed.
of
They
this,
did the
all
same
of
thing
this
with
seeding
UMass.
and all
Remember
that
Marcus
stuff.
Camby?
You got to wait till the ACC tournament is over, and
Yep.
he's back.
Right.
Gonzaga
So,
just
we'll
won 2
see.
games by 40. St. Mary's was lucky to get out of last night.
sure.
I watched every game.
Right.
Damn.
That is another conference
Well, then
where
Duke's
the
a 1
top
seed.
seed
Duke's
team,
got to be a number 1 seed.
the top seed
Gonzaga
team,
did beat him, though.
got knocked off.
Gonzaga beat them.
Fairleigh Dickinson just beat St. Francis, PA, who was the top seed. Gonzaga just lost in the championship. Hofstra, number 1 seed in the Colonial,
What might
just
hurt
lost.
Duke? What might hurt Duke is that Syracuse lost though.
So there are teams that are punching tickets
That
that
was a loss that
are
was a
on
bad
cloud
loss.
9 right now because they
You know what
had
I mean?
no,
Yeah.
That's a
no
bad
idea
loss.
that they were going to be in this position.
Out of
So
all
they're
their
in.
losses, out of all Duke's losses, they had lost to Carolina twice, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech, and Gonzaga.
But Syracuse, they had two guys. They had Zion and they had Trey Jones didn't play.
Right.
So they can. I'm just saying. I'm not defending Duke
Right,
here.
no, you're
I'll
right.
take my 2 seed. I'm not sitting here thumping for a 1. I do believe
just
we
don't
should
see
get a
that
1,
they
but I'm
should
not
be-
going to
I
be
don't
mad
think
as
they
a
should be
fan.
punished, man, for
I think
losing
whoever's
the
the
best
1
player
seed,
in the
who's the 4th 1 seed, who has them in
This
the
might
bracket,
be the
gets
year of the
punished.
2 seed, man. Milwaukee.
Oh, it's
2 seed in
definitely the
East.
year of
Hey,
the
man, hey,
of the
man,
top
Duke,
4
this-
two
seeds.
this-
seed.
no, this- See, this is where we get off. This is where we get off.
There's
Hey,
6
man.
teams.
All right, let's get
There's
out on
6
give me
or
your
7
5.
that can win it.
Let's get out on give me your 5. Now,
What you got, Cam?
I got one for y'all,
Good.
but I
Good.
mean, I'm going off the beaten path. I had this written down. This is on one of my original lists, and it's food related. So I don't want to. We
Oh,
can
you
go.
know I love that.
And it's so okay. So what I was gonna say is give me your 5. We can build a team. I think we got 4. We did the same as last week. Everyone gets to put one in, and then we agree on number 5.
Okay.
Restaurant desserts. Any place you go, fast food or sit
Oh, I
down.
already got. Oh, yeah.
Restaurant desserts.
Yeah.
Your order at a restaurant. You know,
Okay.
and there's some of the fast food ones
I'm
are
old school,
great.
but go ahead.
You know, don't say. I think you're gonna say Farrell's, but you know, I might get the Farrell's before you get there, just for the record. You know, they're in the mix in the first round.
Swenson's.
Go ahead.
who-
Going this way.
you-
Your
yeah, why
last
don't-
pick, Ken.
I'm the last pick. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So we're gonna.
I'm going.
You lead us
I'm
off.
going TGI Fridays vanilla bean cheesecake.
It's classic, and
That's
it's
my-
been
oh my
around for a long time.
Gosh, man.
I mean,
That's my go-to.
their pie in the sky, back in the heyday in the '90s, pie in the sky was a wedge of chocolate chip cookie pie,
Oh man.
upside down in a sundae bowl.
Give me a vanilla bean cheesecake.
But their vanilla bean
all
cheesecake's
day
been around
long,
forever.
man.
What do you put some ice cream
I
on that?
love cheesecake.
Nah,
I love
just straight.
vanilla bean.
Just straight
What you got?
caramel, hot fudge, nothing.
I put a little hot fudge on it, but I man.
What you got?
All right, TGI Fridays, vanilla bean
That's a great
cheesecake.
one. Listen, I'm a Cheesecake Factory guy, but I'm not going to do that. Juice already took the thunder,
Okay.
but not the chocolate thunder from down under. He didn't take
He
that.
didn't take the chocolate thunder from down under.
Outback Steakhouse,
Oh,
chocolate
my
shavings,
goodness.
chocolate brownie, vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup, and they'd give you 4 spoons. Back in the day, it was that big. Times are tough these days. Now it's about that big, so we get 2.
Yep.
The chocolate thunder from down under at Outback Steakhouse. Oh, I cannot deny it.
What do you,
I'm old school, man.
you go like apple pie, McDonald's apple pie.
one that burned you?
McDonald's apple pie.
I knew it.
I love it.
I knew it. I was.
Listen,
If you didn't say it, I
joint.
would.
in
That is
the in
your
the
joint.
cardboard in
It's a
in
little
the
warm.
With a warning on
With
it.
the warm, yeah, it's
Hurts
just-
so bad.
goodness.
I mean, McDonald's apple pie.
Hurts so
Hey,
bad.
It wasn't getting past me if you didn't take it.
You remember Martin on Life? You remember Martin?
With the pie. With the pie.
The running back. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm a-
McDonald's hot apple pie.
There was a
man.
technique. There was a
White.
technique.
Did you ever
What
get
was the name of the pie? White only pies.
Yes.
Why you run like? You see how he ran to the?
With the loose leg. Yeah.
He was here, man over the line.
Yes. Yes. McDonald's.
McDonald's apple
Hot
pie.
apple pie, man.
If you hadn't said it,
Oh, man.
I would
You
have said
you
it.
didn't say it had to be a sit down restaurant.
No, I said it could be
Fast
any
food.
kind
Any
of.
restaurant.
But he likes the cherry. You like the apple?
No, no,
I'm
no,
a-
no. I
I'm
would
an
go
apple.
apple. I would go
Okay.
apple.
What you like, Ken?
I think
Apple
I
over
like
cherry.
Ken, what's yours?
So I wouldn't have let the apple pie get past me if he hadn't picked it. So I was on my list. And the pie in the sky from TGI Fridays was probably my
Okay.
all-time favorite, greatest dessert to order. They don't even make it anymore, so that's kind of a blown, situation. I'd say right now, Summer House up at Pike and Rose, they make these. They make fresh oatmeal, apple oatmeal cookies.
I was just there. Not too
Warm
long
it
ago.
up with some
I didn't
vanilla
get
ice
that,
cream and
though.
some chocolate sauce. That's
Warm
me.
it up, Chris.
I did not get that. I was just there.
They also have some great butterscotch pudding with a little sea salt fudge on top or whatever.
Salted caramel. Sea salted caramel. Get me.
All day.
On a turd.
All right, so we got
My
some
second
consensus
place?
building. Well, no, we got to agree on the glue player, the baking soda player for this team.
No one said a milkshake at any place.
There we go.
But
You
what
ready? Anybody
milkshake-
ready?
The Chili's chocolate milkshake is probably the best milkshake. I mean, if we're gonna be honest.
But here, for my next one, you have to stop at 2 places.
Okay.
They're both fast food. You got to stop at 2 places because it's a mixture.
Okay.
Okay. the Frosty from Wendy's.
I was just about
Hold
to say
on,
that.
but you
one
have
too,
to
man.
dip.
McDonald's fries.
No.
McDonald's apple pie.
Oh, that's tough. You have to dip a Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah,
into
okay,
the Frosty.
that sounds great.
Unreal.
Paddles.
Yeah.
We gotta get some
Unreal.
I mean,
paddles.
Hot Krispy Kreme donut.
That's all
dipped
there's
in
like a radius
Frosty
around
from Wendy's.
Darren. We can
I
all.
live in Columbia. You can get to both within 5 minutes.
It's a diabetes radius all the way, like all
You
around
see-
here.
You see the cloud?
Anytime
Hey,
just
you see
be
the
in-
cloud? You see the cloud?
Hey,
Just this
man.
close
It's
to
just a
him.
cloud right there, man.
Hey, man.
I just got it. It's contagious.
There's
Yes, it's
nothing
contagious.
like it.
Skittles
I
pox.
agree with you.
There is nothing like it.
My insides were turning to my outsides.
Unbelievable, man. When you dip that Krispy Kreme donut into that Frosty,
Chocolate frosty, right?
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all. That's my second place.
All right. I mean, I love Chili's chocolate shake with the sprinkles mixed in. I just thought that was it's classic. It's not.
Houston's 5-nut brownie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
I don't. That's.
Hey, Juice, over there at the St. James, man. I know y'all not doing too much sweets and desserts and
Nah,
all
we
that.
try to keep it real healthy.
Y'all Jamba juicing it and all kind of
Do they even serve dessert?
and stuff. I
Do they serve
understand.
like a brownie sundae or something with hot fudge?
They sell gelatos.
Oh, I'll do it.
No, but
mean,
those are good though, man.
Yeah,
They're
it's like-
delicious.
Gelato
It's ice
is
cream.
so
It's
good,
ice
man.
cream.
It's ice cream, but the gelatos over there are so good.
Yeah.
man.
What flavor?
Oh, yeah.
Pistachio.
Nah, they got chocolate, vanilla bean, strawberry. They had another one out there today I saw.
Vanilla
Love some
bean.
vanilla
is,
bean.
Fat-free
it's my
vanilla
number one.
bean.
Vanilla bean's my number one.
It's a hell of a
Black and white
flavor.
milkshakes are my number one. Vanilla bean ice cream with a little chocolate syrup.
Really? Okay.
Not a chocolate milkshake, a black and white. Vanilla ice cream, vanilla bean.
Gluten-free
my
Oreo.
favorite.
Come on, man.
Wait, what?
Dip.
I
dip
get-
Nah, we
your
got some.
Krispy
No,
Kreme in
wait a
this
minute. We got
Frosty
some cheap
now.
stuff over there too now. We got some cheat stuff.
Do you?
Spike Mendelsohn hooks it up, man. We got some cheat stuff over there.
Well, I
You
need a
gotta
cheat
come over
day.
there,
I need a
man.
cheat day. I'm
You
coming
gotta come
over
on
there.
over there, man. We got our pizzas. You know what
Come
I
out
mean?
to the
I'm
St.
gonna-
James. Look this
Yeah,
guy
just
up.
come
I'm
on
gonna
out
put
there,
my
man.
time
Just
in
come
on the
out there.
treadmill, and then I need a reward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna earn it.
You can sip
I
something
need a
good over there
reward.
too. You can
I was
go
about
sit
to
at
come
the
with you on
bar.
a cheat day, but I'm out on
Yeah,
the
come
treadmill
on, man.
stuff. No, I'll meet him.
Get in there. We hit some golf balls, man. Get in the golf simulators. Hit some golf
Yeah.
balls. Yeah.
Hey, the St. James, y'all are steamrolling right now. That's all I'm hearing about.
Yeah, we
I'm
got
coming
to,
over there,
man. We
Juice.
got
I'm
to.
coming
We
over
got
there,
to.
man. I'm
We're doing-
coming to
We're
see
doing
y'all.
well, man. We're doing very, very well now. We're doing very well. We got to keep it up, but we're doing well. Doing well.
That's very good. That's good stuff, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I appreciate you guys coming on over again for a Tuesday night in the basement,
Absolutely.
and I'd like to think we'll do it again next week.
I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
So God willing.
I'd like to think that
I
we
kind
will.
of like it, man. I
I
kind
do.
of like what we're
I mean,
doing.
it'll be a longer period of time between this week and next week.
We gotta get our
So that'll be
bracket
an
shows. We
extra
gotta get our
hour.
bracket shows up and rolling.
You still talking about that hour?
Yeah,
aren't
that
you?
hour's on my mind. But we do. We got bracketology. We got to figure out. What we got. I got some ideas. We got to figure out where to take that. We got to take it somewhere.
For sure.
But we're gonna do it.
Let me see
I
if
think
can
let's
work
commit to
on
doing
that.
it.
Let me
It's
see if
next
I can
Tuesday,
work
right?
on
I
that.
got the freak show portion of it. Just put me on the
Hey.
side.
Yeah.
Give me a year. I'll give you a champ and an MVP.
I'm telling
For,
everybody.
for the last 80 years, I got you guys. I'll,
Our-
I'll split the
TV
dividends.
our
Yes.
TV
Alright.
I'll
bracket
bring them
show-
over.
It's gonna
I'll
be
send us
for
both
real.
back with a couple bucks.
Okay. All right.
Guys, our TV bracket show, Three's Company is a number 1 or 2 seed.
It should be taken out like
Guaranteed.
Tiger Woods.
Wait, you're getting.
Guaranteed.
It should be.
Now that's a
All right, we
70s
can't.
show.
Wait.
don't
We
have a
can't talk
70s.
about that now. Let's let it wait. We
But I
gotta
think
wait
we
on
should. Is next week's bracketology? Is it not?
Yes, it is.
that. Yeah, because yeah,
So I think next
and then
week's
we
our
also got to
bracketology
go over
show.
the tournament because the brackets will be out
Let's get it on.
for the tournament,
All right. Well,
Oh, that's
in
it.
1 week you will be hearing from us on
and we can pick our winners.
these matters.
Pick our winners.
He's Kevin McClinton.
Good job. Good job, guys. Good job.
Let's do it.
That was fun.
He's Darren McClinton.
Froghorn, Leghorn out.
Thanks for joining us, Mr. Ricka.
Thanks for having me. I apologize for getting too drunk with Junior doing the brackets last year. I won't let that happen again. I promise. It
Oh, I remember that.
was a late night.
Oh, it's
It was a late night.
That was that.
Oh,
That
I
was a
remember that.
marathon.
I wasn't
show.
the only one drinking. I didn't do it by myself.
you
I
know
just
that.
don't want to apologize.
yeah.
Hey,
I'm
thanks for
also-
having me,
yeah.
fellas. Love it.
I-
Love chopping it with you.
I generally owe people apologies, so Tuesday should be no exception. I make
Oh.
all my normal daily apologies. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This was
The Hot Box.
Appreciate you.
We're still live.
Another
everybody.
top
Appreciate you
seed
guys.
goes down, man. Look at this.
St. Mary's made it happen.
I watched